Thursday morning, and I am feeling really great. I thought I would do a quick update and just a little informational video for you guys. I feel really good. I've been getting lots of good sleep. Man, things have just been going really well for me ever since I moved into my new place. I've been able to relax and sleep good and all that kind of stuff. And normally, whenever I'm alone, that's not the case, but it is now. And I think it's just because I'm in a different frame of mind than I've ever been before in my life. As you can see, I've got my Alabama shirt on today, Roll Tide. It's my alma mater and where I am from. So, just don't hate because, we have so many national championships. Anyway, I had to throw that in there. So I thought I would do a little informational video on competing on a budget. So here's the thing. I wanted to do this because I heard someone on Instagram say the other day that they didn't think that you could win a show with cutting corners. And here's the thing. I agree with that, but I agree with it's how you cut the corners, not necessarily cutting corners in any particular manner. So here's the thing. If you are remotely good at makeup, you can do your own makeup for a show and that'll save you $150, okay? But you have to practice at it. You have to practice at the makeup and getting the blending correctly. Practice doing a smoky eye and putting on eyelashes. Make sure you do your brows a little bit darker. Watch videos, watch tutorials. You can go to makeup counters in the mall or whatnot for people that do those, makeovers. And you can tell them what it is that you're doing. You can tell them, hey, look, I compete in bodybuilding competitions and we use dark tan, so I need actually a foundation that's going to be 2 shades lighter. Show them a picture and let them try to color match you, okay? Or put some tan on your arm. Make sure you do it correctly and make sure it's dark enough. And then go in and ask them to color match that. And they can help you find a foundation that's going to blend properly. Hair. If you are remotely good at hair and you can put in clip-in extensions and curl it or straighten it or however you want to do it, you can do your own hair. You don't have to be a genius to do this. It's just you have to practice it. For your tan, I usually suggest if you're going to start out in any competition to, yes, invest in getting a spray tan. And in the off season, practice doing a competition tan. You can always wash it off, but practice doing that competition tan. Do it over a weekend. So say you do it start on a Friday and then see how it turns out on Sunday and then just wash it off. By the time you wash it off, it's just going to look like you got a spray tan. But the DIY kits that you get, they do take practice and effort. I've done my tan for several shows. The only show that I don't think that it turned out the best on was my very first show, and Universe this year. And the only reason that happened at Universe is because I had 2 dark spots on my butt. So where I sit on my sits bones, I have really dry skin, and whenever I exfoliate and dry my skin out, it just gets drier. So the tan just soaks it up completely. And you could tell in those pictures that was there. But here's what I did. I spoke to a client of mine who does spray tanning and asked her what I could do to not get those dark spots, and she suggested a barrier cream. I purchased a barrier cream, a bottle this big on Amazon for $22. It's probably going to last me for forever. And I used it for the next show. Guess what? No issues whatsoever. I used it for another show. No issues again. So it's just finding how to do things properly. And it takes effort and it takes practice. As far as the suit goes, you can get suits that have stones that are resin stones. You can get suits that have Swarovski. And there's things in between that you can get as well. It just depends on what you want. I've never heard a judge say, oh, well, your suit just didn't sparkle enough. I've heard judges say, hey, you might want to go with a different suit color. But I've never had a client, nor have I ever myself, been told, hey, we don't like that suit cut. We don't think it sparkles enough. All this kind of stuff. All I've been told is, hey, you might not want to go with that suit color. I was told that when I wore a pink suit, and I was told that when I wore a red suit with AB stones where it showed up super bright. So I don't necessarily think that you have to spend a fortune on a good suit. I think you have to be smart about the suit color that you pick and the stones that you pick to put on it. I also believe that you need to make sure that you give specific instructions to the designer. Making suits myself, I need specific instructions. If you don't give me those specific instructions, that's not my fault. I'm sitting here making a suit for you. You've told me you wore a B cup when you actually wore an A cup. So when I make you a B cup and it's too big, whose fault is that? Oh, that's Kitty, sorry. If you tell me you want 25% coverage, that's not pro cut. So when you get it and then you complain that you don't have pro cut, whose fault is that? Again, be very specific and detailed with the things that you're doing to save you money. So if you're going to get a cheaper suit, you need to be very specific in what you want for that suit. If you're going to do your own makeup, you need to practice and make sure you get it correctly. If you're going to do your own tan, I suggest you practice to make sure you get the tan right. If you're going to do your own hair, you need to practice your hair. Like, you need to have a rundown of the things that you do. That way, when show day comes, you know exactly what's going to happen. Or when the week of the show comes, you got to start putting tan on here. You know that you got to go ahead and curl your extensions in advance. The night before, you want to lay out all your makeup the way you don't have to rumble through a bunch of stuff and find things. Like that type of thing. So be organized, be detailed in everything that you're doing if you're going to do it on your own. As far as a coach goes, if you have never competed before and you don't know anything about competing, I highly suggest, at least for the first 2 years, if it's going to be something you stick with, you use a coach. A coach is going to be able to guide you in the right direction. A coach is going to be able to tell you what's going to happen backstage. A coach is going to be able to take judges' feedback and implement it. And that's if they are a good coach. So also do your research. Get references. There's a lot of coaches out there right now. You may see a bunch of these coaches online that post all their winning athletes, but you don't necessarily see the athletes that get left behind. You know what I mean? So do your research. Anybody you contact, ask for references. Ask for a breakdown on everything that they offer. I just believe that that is the best way to approach it. So if you're going to do things yourself, you have to be prepared to put in the work beforehand to do that. If not, and you don't want to put in that work and you don't want to put in that effort, then spend the money and get your makeup done, get your hair done, get your tan done, all that kind of stuff. That way you don't have to worry about it. But if you really want to compete and you are on a budget, that is going to be the best way for you to save money, is for you to get stuff on your own and practice, especially if you're going to compete multiple times. The makeup and stuff, once you purchase it, you can't take it back. So make sure you're, like, some of the makeup I've had from the beginning, like eyeshadows, all that kind of stuff, because I only use it when I compete. So it's like a one-time investment, and then you have it until you're out or until it goes bad and you need new stuff. So just keep that in mind. There is a good way to compete and not completely break your bank. It's still going to be expensive. You're still going to have entry fees. You're still going to have hotels. You're still going to have flight, depending on what show you're competing in. So there are things that are not in your control, but there are things that are. And the things that are in your control, you need to be very detailed with, and you need to practice on your own if you're going to do it on your own. So that's the best advice I can give to a competitor who is needing to compete on a budget. So if you have additional questions, let me know. Like I said, I do my own hair, makeup, and tan. I'm going to try to do a makeup tutorial soon if I do end up competing in this show in December. I'll also try to give you a rundown on tan. I posted it on my Insta story a while back, so I will do a video on it as well and kind of show you what I use and how I do it. And I'll show you the extensions and all that kind of stuff that I use. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great Thursday, and I will check back in with you soon. Bye.